Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital spoilers for Monday, May 5th, hint that Cody Bell will uncover a perilous discovery, while Nina Reeves' scheme fails. Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconeri will also receive disturbing news, so let's discuss what's next. For starters, Emma Scorpio Drake will notice her thumb drive is gone, so Jocelyn Jax may pretend to locate it in the sand nearby. Emma may end up thanking Jocelyn for saving her life, but she will be unaware that Joss snatched the USB drive and corrupted all of the data on it. Jocelyn will feel guilty about her actions, but she will understand that she did what she needed to do for her WSB mission. Lulu will be amazed now that Dante has said that he understands her feelings. Before Lulu gets too thrilled, Dante will point out that he can't really act on them because he is still in love with Sam McCall as well. Back at the campfire, Danny Morgan will worry when he discovers Rocco Falconeri intoxicated on whatever was in that punch. When Danny can't persuade Rocco to open his eyes, he may conclude he needs assistance. Cody is on the edge of making a deadly discovery. Will he come across Danny while freaking out over passed-out Rocco? Cody may step in and assist Danny in navigating the dilemma that has arisen. Dante and Lulu will receive updates on some frightening news about their son. Dante will be outraged by Rocco's underage drinking, and he will undoubtedly be upset with Danny for encouraging Rocco to attend the party. Later, an upset Carly will give Lulu some advice, warning her that if she does not heed it, she would regret it for the rest of her life. Carly may encourage Lulu to deal out some harsh love, and do whatever it takes to get Rocco back on track. Because Lulu has no experience parenting teenagers, she should welcome any advice Carly can provide. At GH, Brad Cooper will decide he is tired of being Portia Robinson's errand boy, especially when those errands involve illicit actions that could come back to haunt him. Since Portia had Brad score ketamine for her, he should have known it was for Drew Kane based on the congressman's blood test results. Brad will now have blackmail material, and may threaten to tell Drew what he knows if Portia refuses to back down. Meanwhile, Willow Corinthos will want Nina's perspective now that she has opted to believe Drew's version of the story. Willow will think that it makes her dumb, but her heart will tell her that Drew did not betray her voluntarily. Nina may caution Willow against being overly trusting of Drew, but she will realize she has already lost this battle. Nina's strategy has clearly failed, therefore all that remains is to try to hide her trail and ensure she does not die as a result of this. As luck would have it, Drew now believes Tracy Quartermain is to blame, as he has a foggy recall of her from before he was drugged. Max Scorpio will press Drew for additional information now that he has reported a crime. Drew will not have proof of Tracy's crime, but he intends to contact Mac once he has more information. Nina and Portia may soon see Tracy face censure for their twisted Jacinda plot. Until then, Lois Chirulo will be on the hot seat now that Tracy is aware of the adoption. Tracy will make some accusations and possibly claim that Lois influenced Brooklyn Quartermain into giving up her child. Of course, Lois will do everything she can to keep Giovanni Palmieri's name out of this. According to Lois' prophecies, revealing the entire truth will have disastrous consequences. The dynamic lead vocalist for the new wave band, which gained its peak glory in the 1980s with singles like 68 Guns, and my personal favorite Rain in the Summertime, died on April 29 at the age of 66 from chronic lymphocytic leukemia. Hughes described Peters as a truly wonderful person, kind and giving, who fought hard and cared for others traveling on the same road, a tireless advocate for blood cancer survivors. The actress's relationship with the pop sensation was, in a word, remarkable. We once spent a beautiful day with him and his wife in North Wales many years ago talking about the future, she told me. He spent his life well. He made people happy with his music. According to General Hospital spoilers, Nina Reeves and Portia Robinson's plan to expose Drew Kane to Willow Tate Corinthos appears to be succeeding, but it may strike a hiccup. Could Drew's upcoming tests for unknown chemicals in his system expose their scheme? What will happen next? Portia Robinson might have been sloppy. General Hospital spoilers reveal that Portia turned to Brad Cooper for the narcotics needed for the big scheme. She handed Nina the vial Brad scored, who then handed it over to hired escort Jacinda. Jacinda quietly poured it into Drew's drink, and the rest was history. While Jacinda has left town, Nina and Portia's scheme is still likely to be uncovered. Still, Drew's blood will be analyzed to see what's in his system, and it will be revealed that the chemical found is not a drug, but rather hospital medication. Could it lead back to Brad? Brad Cooper will not be pushed around. If the substance is traced back to Brad, he will gladly blame Portia. He is aware of the enmity between her and Drew, and as she has recently pushed him around, he is desperate to be free of her control. However, it is possible that nothing can be traced back to Brad. Perhaps Brad connects the dots when conducting Drew's lab test and chooses to expose Portia? Nonetheless, he may not immediately disclose the co-chief of staff. Instead, he may just opt to turn the tables on Portia once more, and the blackmail ball will be in his court. In any case, Brad will play an important role in another Portia-related storyline. But will he have the key to expose her? According to General Hospital spoilers, the Port Charles referendum on the piers and the new Esplanade project is taking up much of the airtime. Sonny Corinthos' piers are at peril, and the mob boss is now dealing with a lot of drama. While he wants to fight for what he has, there appears to be little chance. Could there be an unexpected narrative twist on the horizon? There is no legal way out of it. According to General Hospital spoilers, Sonny's attorney, Diane Miller, has stated that she has little legal recourse if PC voters vote against him. While she pushed her mob boss client to work on his public image, he does not appear to desire to do so. Having saying that, may an unexpected narrative twist save the day? Sonny's day is saved. Unraveling plot twist. Sonny is determined to turn a fresh leaf and escape the world of organized crime. Would he be concerned about losing the pier if he went out of business? Having said that, his actual business, Corinthos Coffee, is located on those piers, and while the organization has been a cover for years, he may want to continue running it even after leaving the mob. Still, Drew Kane, the congressman who proposed Sonny and his piers as the site of the new Esplanade, is embroiled in a scandal. After all, his inebriated night with Jacinda is widely shared on social media. Nina Reeves and Portia Robinson hired the escort to drug and set Drew up, but for very different reasons. Portia intended to humble Drew so he'd back off, whilst Nina wanted to end her relationship with him and Willow take Corinthos. But what if another task is accomplished? Could this issue be the end of Drew's political career? That would result in an empty space in the Esplanade project. Could they carry out their plans without a leader? Is Nina killing two birds with one stone? Will Drew resign as congressman, jeopardizing the Esplanade project? General Hospital update. Monday, May 5th. Emma panics, Nina's plan fails, and Lulu and Dante face a crisis. On Monday, May 5th, the halls of General Hospital were packed with tension and drama as lives were on the line, secrets threatened to unravel, and relationships were pushed to the breaking point. Emma Drake found herself in a scary scenario. Nina Reeves' carefully made plans failed miserably, and Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconeri confronted a catastrophe that may affect their lives forever. Emma's panic. A life in danger. Emma Drake, a bright and caring young woman who has already faced her fair share of grief, found herself in a horrible situation. She became suspicious after observing peculiar conduct in a recently discharged patient and wanted to look into it more. However, her curiosity led her right into trouble when she discovered a covert operation involving stolen drugs. Before she could warn the authorities, she was encircled by the assailants, who made it obvious that they would not allow her leave with what she knew. Emma was terrified and trapped, and her mind raced as she searched for a way out. Her phone had been confiscated, leaving her unable to call for help. Meanwhile, her loved ones became increasingly concerned when she didn't return calls or show up for her shift. Dr. Hamilton, her mentor, was the first to detect her missing and promptly notified security. But without any leads, the hunt became desperate. Could Emma find a way out before it was too late? Will her boldness cost her everything? Nina's plan falls apart again. Nina Reeves had methodically planned her next move, sure that this time she would finally have the upper hand over her opponents. Her most recent ploy entailed duping Willow Corinthos into questioning Michael's commitment, in order to put a rift between them and take control over Wiley. However, Willow's strategy backfired dramatically when she approached Nina directly rather than turning on Michael. Willow, who had become stronger and more confident in recent months, declined to be played. She saw right through Nina's deceptions and delivered a scathing speech about her destructive behavior. To make matters worse, Michael strolled in at the worst possible time, hearing enough to know Nina was still plotting. Furious, he threatened her that if she did not stay away from his family, he would take legal action to guarantee she never saw Wiley again. Nina, humiliated and lost, was seething. Her allies were decreasing, and her reputation had deteriorated. Even Sonny, who had previously been sympathetic, appeared to be fed up with her antics. With her options running out, would Nina finally admit defeat, or would she double on in a way that may ultimately kill her? Lulu and Dante's marriage is in crisis. Lulu Spencer and Dante Falconeri have always been a strong relationship, facing many storms together. However, the most recent threat to their marriage may be the one that breaks them. Dante's recent undercover assignment had left him aloof and emotionally detached, and Lulu, who was still suffering from her own traumas, was trying to contact him. The tension reached a climax when Lulu found that Dante had been holding a significant secret from her, one involving a violent figure from his past. Feeling deceived, she demanded answers, but Dante's evasion just made matters worse. Their debate turned into a full-fledged battle, with Lulu accusing him of cutting her off and Dante saying he was simply trying to protect her. The question now was whether their love was strong enough to withstand the latest test. With both of them at their breaking points, would they be able to reconcile? Or was this the start of the end for one of Port Charles's most adored couples? Other Port Charles developments. Drew Cain and Carly Corinthos' growing connection. Drew Cain and Carly Corinthos found themselves relying on each other more than ever before, raising speculation that their friendship was developing into something more. Austin's shocking discovery. Austin Gatlin Holt discovered a troubling fact about his family's history, which could bring him in direct confrontation with Mason Gatlin. Elizabeth's concern. Elizabeth Baldwin became increasingly concerned about Finn's erratic conduct, unknowing that his problems were linked to a serious new threat. What's next? With Emma in danger, Nina licking her wounds, and Lulu and Dante's marriage on the line, Port Charles is prepared for even more turmoil. Will Emma get saved in time? Will Nina ever completely change? Will Lulu and Dante find their way back together? Or is their love tale over? One thing is certain. The drama at General Hospital is far from over. Brad's bombshell disclosure regarding Nina and Portia's plot against Drew sends shockwaves through the neighborhood, exposing a web of deception that threatens to upend lives. Nina and Portia painstakingly organized a strategy to harm Drew's reputation and destabilize his position, but Brad's decision to come forward alters everything. His whistleblower not only reveals their nasty intent, but it also forces those involved to face the repercussions of their acts. As the truth emerges, alliances are tested, trust is damaged, and the aftermath of this scandal leaves everyone wondering who they can genuinely rely on. Nina and Portia had been conspiring in secret for weeks, confident that their plan would go undiscovered. They saw Drew as a threat to their personal interests, professional goals, or both, and were determined to bring him down. Their strategy was sophisticated, comprising false documents, fake discussions, and well-timed rumors designed to discredit him. They relied on Drew's prior mistakes to make him an easy target, figuring no one would question the story they were creating. What they didn't expect was Brad's conscience getting the best of him. Brad had first agreed to the plan, seduced by Nina's convincing arguments and Portia's promises of mutual benefit. But as the plan unfolded, he became increasingly apprehensive. The lies built up, the harm to Drew's life became clearer, and Brad found himself unable to deny the moral gravity of his involvement. He had always considered himself a devoted friend to Nina and Portia, but he knew that loyalty should not be at the expense of someone else's destruction. The moment of truth arrived when he overheard Nina and Portia's private talk, which exposed their genuine motivations, motives considerably more vengeful than he had previously believed. When Brad realized the extent of their evil, he made the painful decision to expose them. He knew there would be consequences, burning bridges with Nina and Portia, perhaps suffering retaliation, but being silent was no longer an option. He gathered evidence, chronicled their conversations, and finally faced Drew with the truth. The confrontation was uncomfortable, with Drew initially dubious, but as Brad explained the specifics, everything fell into place. Drew was enraged, but also glad to finally understand why his life had been collapsing so mysteriously. According to General Hospital teasers, Cody Bell and Molly Lansing Davis will have a disastrous phony romance. Here's what fans should anticipate from Molly and Cody later this month. Some awkward couple miscommunication. Fans are definitely looking forward to some romantic developments because Cody and Molly have formed a solid bond. In terms of narrating Molly's romance with Cody, GH authors are providing all the appropriate beats and turning points. But for the time being, Cody and Molly are clearly only friends. Because of this, when they are out together and there is some misunderstanding about whether or not they are a true relationship, things will become unpleasant. Is it possible that this mistake will occur on the nurse's ball red carpet? A reporter may believe Cody and Molly are a love match, and think they make a wonderful couple since it's simple to picture them together on camera. It is probable that Molly and Cody will attend the nurse's ball together in a platonic manner. Another possibility is that Cody and Molly will simply arrive at the wrong time for a humiliating on-camera interview. In any case, Molly and Cody may find themselves rushing to clarify that they are merely friends, or the situation may get too complex and ultimately compel them to comply. It sounds like Cody and Molly will end up in a big issue because of some erroneous assumptions, regardless of how everything turns out. Cody may eventually acknowledge that, despite the difficulty of the situation, he doesn't detest the prospect of dating Molly. The embarrassment might set the stage for the next part of their plot, as Cody might ask Molly out on a real date as a result. Keep checking back for more updates on Molly and Cody's relationship status, as they may make some changes in the future. What are your thoughts on Cody and Molly's current relationship? Do you think Molly and Cody will find a lasting relationship? We'll see if Cody and Molly make any predictions about their future together, because General Hospital spoilers indicate that they will have a lot to figure out following the developing drama of their fake romance. Laura questioned Lulu about why she was actually writing an adoption feature. Laura didn't accept Lulu's justification, which was based on adoption statistics in America. "What does this topic have to do with you?" she inquired. "It's not my secret to tell. I am not even supposed to know this information," Lulu replied, trembling, to her mother. Laura became even more interested in what was happening as a result. She thought Lulu had discovered something. "Stumbled, snooped, stuck my nose where it doesn't belong," said Lulu. Finally, a sad Lulu discreetly offered her mother some news. "I have knowledge about a child who was given up for adoption, but not all the parties are aware. I'm in a position to change that," she stated. Lulu inquired as to whether it was her right to divulge the secret. It wasn't, and Laura had to explain that to her. "As your mother, I just feel I have to advise you against playing God with someone else's life," Laura responded. She urged her daughter to stand back and consider what it would have been like to decide to forego having a child. Laura mentioned the difficult decision she had to make when she left Nicholas with the Cassidines. "Imagine having your agency taken away. Imagine someone coming in and telling you, 'I know what's best for you and for your child.' I would hope that you would not take that position lightly," Laura said. Then Lulu got the greatest advice she could from Laura: choosing to expose someone else's secret or their truth. "That is hubris," Laura responded. As Tracy read the article and watched the video of Drew's crazy night at the Savoy, she couldn't stop laughing. Thanks to Lulu, Drew is no longer Congressman Cutthroat. He is Congressman Cad. "I am sending that girl flowers right now. She is a national treasure," Tracy said. Brooklyn lost it in a flash. Before she stormed out of the solarium, she said, "Do you think you can go a day without an ode to the glories of Lulu because I can't take it anymore?" Tracy was perplexed as Chase chased after his wife. She questioned Gio. "Was it something I said?" Tracy declared that she would not let Brooklyn's outburst to spoil her day. She was pleased about Drew's news. "Did you see his meltdown? Or should I say hoedown?" Tracy questioned as she laughed wildly at her own joke. Gio answered thoughtfully that he had, but questioned Tracy's happiness. "Doesn't it mess with your plans to take down Uncle Sonny?" questioned the man. "It might be a setback," Tracy acknowledged, "but it's not going to stop me from making Port Charles a Sonny-free zone." Gio took a seat and told Tracy that he had talked to Jason, and was aware that Sonny had murdered AJ. "Jason said that Sonny shot AJ to save Ava's life," said Gio. "Well, of course he'd say that. He has to justify Sonny's crimes," Tracy replied. Gio then mentioned that Jason had returned to the family at last. "You're right about that, but it was a long road to get him here," Tracy said. The fact that Jason told Gio about Sonny and AJ impressed Tracy. Tracy's vision was different, Gio informed her. Tracy said, "Well, my version's the truth," impassively. Jason's perception is seen through the lens of too many years at Sunny's knee. The man that Jason is now is not the boy I knew. This man is largely Sunny's work, Tracy stated. Tracy told Gio that Jason possessed a lot of admirable qualities before to being mentored by Sunny. Gio, in her opinion, has the same wonderful traits. Outside the boathouse, Chase saw Brooklyn, who was still complaining about people, extolling the virtues of Lulu. Brooklyn also told her husband about the adoption story Lulu was working on. "She is trying to drive me insane, and Chase, I think it's working," she stated. Chase believed that simply giving Dante the truth would put an end to the situation. Brooklyn acknowledged being tempted. When Brooklyn commented, "I'm so tired of Lulu beating me up with the secret." She still feared upsetting her son's life, though. "I respect Lulu's choices. I just wish she'd respect mine and leave me alone," Brooklyn said. Chase claimed he was going to speak with Lulu as he left. Dante reprimanded Danny and Rocco in Lulu's living room for abandoning the Q boathouse in disarray. There would be no woodchucks game if they didn't clean it, so Yuri was on his way to collect them. Chase arrived after the lads had left and requested Dante to deliver a message to Lulu. Chase remarked, "You can tell her to back off my wife." Dante clarified that although Brooklyn and Lulu had a past, their hostility was innocuous and that he was unsure of the reason for Chase's ire. Additionally, Dante failed to comprehend how Chase and Brooklyn's desire to adopt was related to Lulu's adoption piece. Chase refused to give up. "I am asking you as a friend. Get Lulu to back off Brooklyn. Will you do that?" Dante responded. Lulu came home before he had a chance to respond. After leaving, Chase informed Lulu that he wanted to talk about Brooklyn. Therefore, they would not be attending the baseball game. Brooklyn apologized to Tracy for her previous outbursts back in the Q solarium. All Tracy needed was an explanation. "You two are not teenagers anymore. And these petty jealousies are beneath you. So will you please tell me, my beloved granddaughter, whom I adore, why are you so threatened by Lulu?" she inquired. Tracy made Lulu's case because Brooklyn wouldn't make hers. She could see why Brooklyn would threaten Lulu. "You're a successful businesswoman. You have lots of talents. And you have a wonderful husband who is devoted to you. And you're at the very beginning of starting a family. And yet, with all that, Lulu's very existence riles you up. Why is that?" Tracy was puzzled. Tracy was informed by Brooklyn that she was wearing blinders when it came to Lulu. Brooklyn spit out, "You see her as your last remaining tie to Luke." Tracy was sobbing as she informed Brooklyn that she was mistaken and that Lulu was so much more than her father's daughter. Tracy couldn't fathom why she would be upset with Lulu for starting over. "I don't care if Lulu has anything. I care that she knows that I got pregnant when I was in high school and gave the baby up for adoption. I care that your precious Lulu has been holding that fact over my head and threatening to blow my life up," Brooklyn said to a surprised Tracy. Danny shared a secret with Rocco while they cleaned up down at the boathouse. He had no intention of attending the baseball game. He had a PCU bonfire to attend. They were still in high school, so it gave Rocco anxiety. Danny was unconcerned. "Come on, man. Let's you and me go and have some real fun," remarked Danny. When Dante called to cancel taking the boys to the game, Danny assumed it was fate. As Drew pounded on Nina's door, pleading for a conversation, Nina and Willow listened. At last, Willow agreed to let him in. At first, Drew could only say, "This has been a huge misunderstanding. According to Willow, I found you in our bedroom with a hooker." Willow knew he would never sleep with a prostitute, so Drew assumed that should be sufficient for her. "Does that sound like me? Does that sound like anything I would ever do?" asked the man. Willow wasn't certain. She answered, "I don't know who you are right now. I know what I saw. Right now I trust my eyes more than I trust you," Willow continued. Nina refused to leave the room when Drew requested her to. "You're national news," Nina reminded Drew. Then he turned to Willow and admitted that he had no memory of the previous evening. "How convenient," Nina added, and Drew said he didn't recall anything after leaving his office. He said to Willow, "Don't you see? Something is wrong. None of this should be hard to remember, Drew. There is footage of you out partying with the same woman I found half naked in our bedroom this morning," Willow said. Drew claimed he didn't know her identity. Nina then interrupted to tell Drew that he was fortunate to have Willow talking to him. You're just angry that she won't ignore what she saw in your bedroom with her own 2 eyes, Nina replied. Drew turned and pleaded with Willow. I love you with all my heart. I'm just asking you to trust that, he declared. In order to get a blood test and demonstrate that something odd was happening, he pleaded with Willow to accompany him to GH. She consented, much to Nina's chagrin. Willow couldn't believe it. You're asking me to trust you? That's all I've done. I have given up my entire life. My marriage. And because of you I may lose my kids, she said. Nina was terrified by that line, realizing she might have made a mistake. Willow then informed Drew that Michael was likely going to take her children away because he wouldn't let her visit Germany. Drew told Willow that he wouldn't let Michael do that while acting as though he was stunned and saddened by the news. You keep saying that, but you can't stop it. Not after this. I risked everything to be with you because you promised that we were in this together. You promised to protect me and my children, but that was a lie, she yelled. Nina shouted for Drew to leave as she opened the door. With a final appeal, Drew glanced at Willow. Have you ever known me to drink excessively or take any drug ever? Asked the man. When Willow refused, Drew pleaded with her to give him an opportunity to demonstrate that something wasn't quite right the previous evening. Trina requested a final moment with her boyfriend before Kai was rushed to surgery. Before the big event, she encouraged him. Kai was relieved that Trina finally agreed with his choice. Kai was finally taken to the operating room by Deanna. Emma and Joss waited for Kai's news at the hospital. Their goal was to provide Trina with moral support. Emma said she was working on her extra credit homework for Professor Dalton when Joss asked if she wanted to go grab coffee. Jocelyn went over to Vaughn after spotting him in a corner. She described to him how she had seen Professor Dalton chatting to Anna at the Savoy and entering a lab with a briefcase. Emma invited Joss to join her for a bonfire that night when she came back to where she was sitting. When Kai was quiet, Trina joined them and said that she was stressing out. Trina also voiced her displeasure with Drew's documentary director. Drew shouldn't be sending a camera around anybody. After his little performance at the Savoy last night, Drew should be hiding under a rock, Joss said. Joss and Emma refused the filmmaker's request to sign a release like Trina did so he could record them all waiting. Trina also didn't need to be filmed because they sat directly next to her. Emma declared she was finished with her project when the filmmaker left. Jocelyn obviously had an idea when she told her that everything was on a small flash drive. She wanted to contaminate the flash drive, so she approached Vaughn in the elevator and begged him for assistance. Trina waited by herself back in the waiting room until Laura arrived. Trina sat with Spencer's grandma while she awaited word about Kai. General Hospital spoilers: the fake dating scandal between Cody and Molly. Drama is nothing new in Port Charles, and the most recent development involving Cody Bell and Molly Lansing Davis is sure to provide enough of it. Fake dating as a solution to their own problems is what begins as a straightforward arrangement, but soon devolves into a complex web of feelings, miscommunications, and unforeseen repercussions. These two will learn that feigning love is far more difficult than they ever thought as they go through their made-up romance. Once again, Cody, the endearing but capricious troublemaker, finds himself in a difficult predicament. His choice to entice Molly into a phony relationship appears to be the ideal solution, at least on paper. Whether he's attempting to escape a former romantic partner, impress a possible business partner, or just cause trouble for his own entertainment. Molly, however, has her own motivations for accepting the plan. Maybe she wants to show that she can manage a little adventure, calm her family's worries about her romantic life, or make someone jealous. Regardless of their intentions, neither of them is ready for the consequences as their meticulously crafted deception starts to come apart. Rumors begin to circulate as soon as they declare their relationship. Rumor is nothing new to the people of Port Charles, and Cody and Molly's unexpected romance raises a lot of questions. While some, like Laura or Bobby, may sincerely hope that these two have found happiness together, others, like Dante and Sam, may see right through the ruse. They become more and more enmeshed in a labyrinth of near misses and half-truths, the more they attempt to sell their story.